Hello, everyone. Thanks for checking out this talk. We're going to be working on Spain a little bit today and thinking about the chord scales that you might decide to choose as a starting point as you're working through tune and just kind of improvising. So I'll start out today by playing a few choruses on it, improvising, and maybe I'll mention a couple updates. I was looking through the Christmas repertoire that I've done on the YouTube channel, and came to realize that I didn't actually play through the Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas Ted Green arrangement. So last year, and I think just kind of remembering back, I think I just ran out of time on that. So I was working on that a little bit this morning, trying to refresh my memory on it. And so I'm thinking I will do a video on that. So hopefully pretty soon here. So hopefully this week we'll see how things progress. All right, so still a little playing. I think I've got things sort of dialed in here. Just double check everything is okay. And got a good drum groove. I was thinking that I might do something similar, actually kind of similar to what I did with the Days of Wine and Roses. Have a organ trio kind of thing, but let's see how that goes. All right, so I'm going to play a little bit here, and get going. See if I can set up another screen. Well, we'll just go with what I've got for now. Having some technical issues here with the video software, but anyway. All right, everybody. So, what I want to talk about today are kind of the basic changes and some starting points on when some of the chord scale choices that you might make on the tune. So let's look at all that and think about what's going on here. All right, so we have, let's see. So we have key of 2 sharps. That's our starting point here. And our first chord is G. Okay, so one of the first things you might think about is just kind of that time, not time signature. Well, you want to consider the time signature, of course, but you want to think about the key signature and tonic and where things are gravitating towards. Now, things might shift a little bit here and there over time, but ultimately, key of 2 sharps. So we think about the key of 2 sharps. We have a relative major, and then a relative minor. Okay, I'm gonna try to flip the screen. It's kind of worked okay. I'm using a beta edition of this program, so some things are a little funky, but anyway, I think it's working out okay. Okay, so let's look at the chords. So the first things you might even try to do is play maybe a D major scale. Just kind of get things warmed up, get the ear kind of acclimated. Maybe play a D. So that would be the relative major. And then maybe play B minor. Okay, get the ear acclimated to that. So we might play, let's say, well, let's play minor scale. Okay, and let's think of that as sort of the basis on that. Now, we might also want to try some other types of scales, especially when we're dealing with the relative minor. So I might say, okay, so our sort of harmonic minor. Okay. Similar to that, we can take a look at the harmonic major on the D there. So let's check that out a little bit. Listen to how that kind of sounds and works. So why might we choose to take a listen and look to some of those scales? Well, we have the minor scale, and that gives us a certain amount of consonants on the chord. Right. So if we have, let's say, a natural 6 on the B minor, that's going to feel somewhat stable, right? Okay. And then, of course, we have our minor third, gives us the quality. 5th is natural. And you get the flat 7. So that gives us something to work out. Now the the 5 chord kind of have a little bit of an issue in minor, right? Because you see, if we played the B minor, we don't have this leading tone here. So if we want to play an F sharp 7, right, then we need this D sharp. Okay, so we've shifted the flat 7 up a half step, and we've shifted the 6 down a half step. We get something a little less stable, and that really works well for the F sharp 7. So we get something called Phrygian dominant. And that gives us a flat 9 kind of sound on that. So that works really well. Now, I mentioned a little earlier the harmonic major. So we kind of explored that a little bit. Put a flat 9 in there, made it even darker. So let's do that again. Okay, so that's better. So again, that gives us something that's a little more dissonant on the with this interval here, and it's you might find that helpful if you want to kind of bring in a more of a flat 9 sort of sound on the G13, which actually we talked a little bit about, or A13 flat 9. Right, so I'm starting a new series for the channel, for the member area, which is and it's kind of a pilot program. I'm not sure if it's going to go long term, but that's the plan anyway. So I'm going to feature something kind of the day, like a short 10-minute video where you can get a little practice in on a skill or a new chord or something to improve on something small and manageable. But I did go a little bit deep with it. But anyway, so that's kind of a side note. But yeah, so if we apply that D harmonic major, right, to the A, right, then we get, instead of a mixolydian kind of sound, we get a mixolydian, the flat 9. So those are some sounds that you can really kind of go for, because we have progression, the G, and the F sharp 7, right? And then we have a 2, 5 to 1. Okay, so we could really use that, kind of straight away, some of those things. So we have the F sharp, maybe Phrygian dominant kind of sound, which actually works really well for this tune and sort of that sound. I tend to associate with this kind of thing, this kind of tune. So 2, 5. So on the 5 chord, we could use maybe that that mixolydian with a flat 9 kind of sound. Okay, and then G. Okay. Okay, so we'll talk more about some of these kinds of things, but see, I got my loop one measure off. It looks looks like there. Kind of makes sense. Okay. All right, so let's do a little more playing on it. Maybe I'll slow it down a little bit. Let me check the live stream. And check any questions and everything out. So all right, so let's start with that. Slow it down a little bit and kind of try to demonstrate some of those concepts there. And yeah, so this is available for members as a video live stream, and then this will be released as a podcast as well. All right, I've been playing, trying this other screen out, which I was doing this morning. Maybe I'll stick with that. Sort of has just a really large look at the guitar neck. The MIDI neck doesn't pick up quite as much, so leave that out of it. But I'm gonna try this screen out. It's been working out pretty well. so let's look further into this. And let's get, so I mentioned a little bit of the key signature, and then that suggests some of the scales that you might start with. And I'm trying to think about how to word this statement, but we don't necessarily, I don't want to give the impression that we kind of just plug these scales in and that's kind of just what we might do. So we can choose a variety of different chord scales. So in one chorus, you might play one particular chord scale, and then the next chorus play a different one, or even if the length of time allows, you might do something different even in that one segment of time. So that's something to just kind of keep in mind as we talk about all of this. So yeah, let's get more specific with some of the tones here, and in particular the G. So let's start with the G chord. All right, so we have the G chord. Now, one thing that you kind of do is just think in terms of the sharps, right? So we have the say, okay, so G, A, B, all right, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G. So that gives us the Lydian kind of sound to it. So in this case, we're thinking about the chord, or we're using the mode name as a shorthand to give you an idea what to communicate what the chord scale is, or might be, one that you might choose there. All right, so we talked a bit about the F sharp 7. So we talked about the Phrygian dominant. So that's one of the modes of the harmonic minor. Okay, we go over to the E minor. Well, let's take a little bit of a moment to think about what that. So here, we might say, okay, kind of a Dorian sort of sound. On that E minor, right? And that's just by the key of 2 sharps, right? That's kind of what's filling in the spaces for the arpeggio, between the arpeggio and or between the notes of the arpeggio, right? Okay, because we have an F sharp and a C sharp. Okay, so we're kind of back to 2 sharps. So what happened on the Phrygian dominant? Well, we pretty much have 2 sharps. And then instead of an A natural, we have a D sharp. That's really kind of all it is. So still key of 2 sharps, but we're changing the A natural to an A sharp. And then when we get to the E minor, we're kind of back. Same thing here, A7. If you have an A7 chord, right? Think about the arpeggio. That gives you 4 out of 7 notes. So only 3 notes left over. So we have B, D, and F sharp, right? Because we're thinking about key of 2 sharps, F sharp and C sharp. Okay. And then if we want to, we might play around with altering that in any number of ways, but the way that I talked about a little bit earlier was making the A flat, putting the A flat in there rather than an A natural, as a way to just maybe put a little more attention into things. But so anyway, back to the A7. Right, so we have Mixolydian kind of sound, and then D major, so it's major scale, Ionian. All right, and then we get back to the G. Right. So that's going to be just kind of based on the key of 2 sharps. That's going to be the you'll have the C sharp, which will have the sharp 11 in it. All right, let's take a look at C sharp 7. So I think about, let's see, so I was using like a sharp 9 kind of sound. Now you might also choose a flat 9. And that's partly has to do with, think about the key of 2 sharps, right? Because we have a D natural. So that would give us a flat 9 and then the E sharp 9. Let's also think a little bit about what the chord is typically. It just kind of strictly within the key. We have C sharp minor 7 flat 5. Now that's not the key chord change, but that's what we have in our key. So we can look a little bit about kind of what's different about it. Right, so that would give us a Locrian type sound. So you might say, okay, well, maybe super Locrian would be a good fit there for that, since it's got the E sharp there. Okay. All right, and then F sharp 7. We talked about this one. So maybe the F sharp Phrygian dominant kind of sound. Then we're back to the B minor. So we can play with any number of modes of those, and also with the dominant type chords. But generally minor. So experiment with melodic minor, harmonic minor, natural minor. Okay, and then we get more of a dominant kind of sound. So maybe do another altered kind of scale, or maybe do something like that. Just more of more kind of coming out of the harmonic major, kind of a mode of harmonic major there. So. Okay, so G, so like G harmonic major, sort of one of the modes of that one. So anyway, those are some kind of things to maybe consider and think about on that tune. So I'll do a little more playing here, and well, maybe I'll play one more time on that tune, and then I'll play some other tunes that we've been kind of mentioning here and there. So I'll play a little bit more on this one so that we maybe can think a little bit about some of the concepts cover just now. All right, so I'll play again on this one. Yeah, and thanks for checking this out. If you are checking this out on the podcast and would like to see the video, this is on youtube.com/fretprints for members of the Lessons and Talks. Okay, so let's go through, play a little bit on a couple more tunes, and a couple of these that I haven't quite talked about just yet. Lady Bird. So I'll play a little bit on that one. And I think our tune will be, as far as kind of, let's say something for kind of our harmonic changes to really kind of dive in. I think we'll focus on Everything Happens to You. And then Ladybird is so fairly, well, it's a kind of a shorter form, and it's not super involved, but it has some chord key changes, or has some different tonal centers, I guess we could say. So that we check that one out a little bit. Try play around with some slightly different tones. Nothing too drastic, but hopefully things have been going along. I've been listening to the podcast just to try to simply troubleshoot any issues and try to gradually get better at the podcast and at the videos for the member area. And so I was listening to it and noticing a little bit of crackling, and so I may just have too many plugins running and all that. So try to dial things back a little bit today, and so we'll play a little bit on Ladybird, and we'll dig into this one a little more, see what I can find as far as solos. I want to dig into a little more of doing solo analysis of solos and phrases and things. So look forward to that here in the line here. Change my feel over. Try this out. Hopefully this will sound good. All right. All right, everybody. Well, thanks so much for checking out this video, and let me know if you have any comments or questions, and I will see you all in the next one. I hope you have a great day, great practice session, and all that. See you. Later.